Young, and the Restless spoilers. Hello, soap fans. Welcome back to our channel for another deep dive into the absolute chaos of Genoa City. It is a wild day to be talking about our favorite messy families. So grab a coffee and let's get right into the thick of it. So, Diane Jenkins Abbott is missing. She is just completely gone. Poof, vanished into thin air. And honestly, I don't know why anyone in Genoa City is acting surprised, but here we are. Jack Abbott is currently running around like a chicken with its head cut off, absolutely terrified that he has lost the woman he claims to cherish above all else. But let's be real for a second, you guys. Jack brought this entirely on himself. What was he thinking? What was he actually thinking when he decided to play mind games with Patty Williams? We all know Patty. We know her history. We know she is not someone you just casually manipulate for a revenge plot against Victor Newman. But Jack, in all his infinite wisdom, thought he could handle it. And now his wife is missing, and he is sitting there sweating bullets, wondering if Patty did something unspeakable. Patty, of course, is standing there with that innocent, wide-eyed look, swearing up and down that Diane just packed up and left on her own free will. She insists she had absolutely nothing to do with it. But Patty has lied to Jack before. So many times. Why wouldn't she be lying? Now, let's just break down the sheer madness of the situation, because there are basically three chilling predictions about where Diane actually went, and none of them are particularly good for Jack's blood pressure. Theory number one, and maybe I'm being too harsh on Diane here, but theory number one is that she simply got sick and tired of the betrayal and walked away to start a new life. I mean, think about it. A few episodes ago, she caught Jack and Patty in bed on a boat. On a boat. And if that wasn't enough to completely shatter her trust, she then catches Jack and Nikki Newman in a highly compromising, awkward situation. Jack and Nikki, the woman Diane has despised for decades. So you have to look at it from Diane's perspective. She fought so hard to get back into Jack's good graces, fought the whole town, fought Phyllis, fought Ashley, fought everyone to prove she had changed. And what does Jack do? He completely disrespects their marriage by tangling with Patty and Nikki. So maybe Diane just snapped. Maybe she realized that Jack is never going to fully respect her or protect their peace. We all know Diane is the absolute, undisputed queen of faking her own death and disappearing. She did it years ago. She lived as Taylor Jensen in Los Angeles for years. She knows how to erase her footprint. She knows how to pack a bag, drain a bank account, and just cease to exist. It would honestly make so much sense for her to just look at Jack, look at Patty, look at Nikki, and say, you know what? I am done. I am so done with this. She might just be sitting on a beach somewhere in Europe, sipping a martini, completely unbothered, while Jack loses his mind. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. If anyone can pull off a disappearing act out of pure spite and exhaustion, it is Diane Jenkins. But then we have theory number two, and this is the dark one, the really, really dark one that is keeping Jack awake at night. What if Diane is dead? What if she is actually dead and her body is hidden somewhere in Genoa City? I know. It sounds like a horror movie, but this is The Young and the Restless, and people get bumped off and hidden in the woods or in basements all the time. And if she is dead, who did it? All roads lead back to Patty Williams. Patty is dangerous, We can't ever forget that she poisoned Summer Newman years ago. When Patty feels threatened, or when she feels like someone is standing in the way of her twisted version of a happy ending with Jack, she snaps. She completely loses her grip on reality. If Diane confronted Patty about the boat incident, or if Patty just decided that Diane was the only obstacle keeping her from being the lady of the Abbott mansion, things could have gotten violent, fast. Jack is terrified that Diane has been hurt, and he has every right to be. The thought of Diane's body just being stuffed in a trunk or buried in the Chancellor Park Gardens is gruesome, but it is a very real possibility when you are dealing with someone as unpredictable as Patty. Or wait, maybe I'm giving Patty too much credit as a criminal mastermind. But still, accidents happen during fights. A push down the stairs, a hit to the head. It's terrifying. And then there's theory number 3, the kidnapping theory. What if Diane isn't dead, and she didn't leave on her own, but she is being held hostage? What if Patty knocked her out and dragged her to some creepy abandoned cabin on the outskirts of town? Or, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture here. What if Patty isn't the only one involved? Victor Newman has been heavily involved in this whole mess. Remember when Victor and Diane were supposedly teaming up to betray Jack? What if Victor decided Diane was no longer useful to him? Or what if he found out she was playing double agent and he had his goons snatch her up? Victor loves throwing people in basements or private prisons, or maybe Patty hired someone. Either way, the idea of Diane being tied up somewhere, terrified and waiting for a rescue that might never come, is chilling. So where does this leave Jack and Kyle? Oh man, poor Kyle. Honestly, my heart just breaks for Kyle in this scenario. This poor guy spent his entire childhood and early adulthood mourning a mother he thought was brutally murdered. He visited a grave. He cried over her. He had to live with the trauma of being motherless. And then, miraculously, she comes back from the dead. They rebuild their relationship. He forgives her. He defends her against his own family. And now she is gone again. The psychological damage this is going to do to Kyle is off the charts. Jack and Kyle are going to tear Genoa City apart looking for her. I can already see the scenes. Jack pacing the living room at the Abbott mansion, screaming at his security team on the phone. Kyle storming into the GCAC, grabbing people by the collar, demanding answers. Kyle is not going to just sit back and wait for the GCPD to do their jobs, because let's face it, Paul Williams isn't around to solve this, and the current police force usually bungles everything anyway. Kyle will probably hire his own private investigators, and Jack's guilt is going to eat him alive. He is going to realize that his stupid, reckless decision to use Patty Williams as a pawn in his never-ending war with Victor Newman is the direct cause of his wife's disappearance. He is going to have to look Kyle in the eye and admit that he might be the reason Diane is missing. Can you imagine that conversation? Sorry, son. I got into bed with a known psychopath to get back at Victor, and now your mom is missing. Kyle might actually disown him. The Abbott family is going to completely fracture over this. I just keep thinking about Patty's face, that calm, eerie denial. She left on her own, Jack. It gives me the creeps. It really does. And the writers are playing this so well because they are leaning into the ambiguity. They are making us question everything. Did Diane run? Was she murdered? Is she locked in a cage? I also have to wonder if Victor's going to use this to his advantage. Victor is currently busy gaslighting Nikki into praising him for letting Nick almost die in Vegas, but you know Victor always has his eye on the Abbotts. If Jack is distracted by a missing wife, Victor will absolutely swoop in and try to destroy Jabot. It is just what he does. The man has no off switch when it comes to kicking Jack when he is down. But let's circle back to Diane. If she did run away, how long until she comes back? She can't stay away forever. She loves Kyle too much, right? Or does she? Sometimes I wonder if Diane is truly capable of putting anyone above her own survival instincts. When things get too hot, she bails. But leaving Kyle again, after promising she never would, that would permanently destroy their relationship. Kyle would never, ever forgive her for faking a disappearance a second time. So maybe she didn't run. Maybe she really is a victim here. I change my mind every 5 minutes. First I think she ran. Then I think Patty killed her. Then I think she's kidnapped. It's exhausting. But that's why we watch, right? We love the mess. We love the drama. We love seeing Jack Abbott make the same stupid mistakes he has been making since the 1980s. Honestly, I really hope they don't drag this mystery out for 6 months. You guys know how the writers get. They will give us one clue a month until we are all screaming at our televisions. But the stakes are so high right now. The Abbott men are going to go on a warpath. If they find out Patty did something, Jack might actually cross a line he can't come back from. And if they find out Diane just left him, the heartbreak will be devastating. What do you guys think? Is she dead? Is she hiding? Is she tied to a chair in some random basement while Patty bakes cookies upstairs? Let me know, because my brain is spinning with all these theories and I need to know I'm not the only one obsessing over this. Anyway, that is the latest on the Diane Jenkins Abbott mystery. The Abbott family is in crisis mode. Patty is acting creepy, and Jack is drowning in his own bad decisions. Just another Tuesday in Genoa City, right? I'm going to go take a nap or maybe stare at a wall for a bit to process all this. See you all next time.